live from the Counterpunch Media mobile studios in Grand Blanc, Michigan. It's time for real lives, real families, real fitness. It's time for Derek Noel Fitness.
What is going on? Welcome to Derek Noel Fitness Live. First off, I just wanted to apologize for that delayed start. We ran into some technical difficulties, but we are here now. I am being a millennial, pulling the feet up. Make sure you are asking some questions. I have an awesome topic for you today, and it's going to be a good show. Like I said, a little delayed. We will be running it through until 8:45 to 8:47, right around that area. I still plan on going a full 30 minutes, so please hang with me. And if you are tuning in, thank you for waiting. I know this may be anticipated, and I know I'm also competing with March Madness, which I just got the news. Michigan State has beat Duke in a surprise upset. So congratulations to Michigan State, people. That's actually a very big win. That being said, though, I also wanted to give a quick thanks to Sir Matt Connerton from IPM Nation and Sir Brian Brody for also having me on his show on Monday nights or Monday mornings, I should say, at 7:10 a.m. on All Natural Being for a nice fitness tip of the week, which is only supposed to be a couple minutes, but I have an awesome time whenever I call into Brian's show, and we end up chit-chatting for about 8 to 10 minutes instead, which is cool. I have no problem with that. I love talking to him. Also, to Mr. Wayne, literally behind the camera now. He makes all the magic happen. He is the person who made sure that this show could still happen tonight. Without him today, this show wouldn't be happening. We would have to fully reschedule it. So thank you very much to Sir Wayne, Mr. Producer. Literally looking at the camera, he's like right there. So huge thanks to that. Before I get started on the topic, which in case you did not know is how to stay fit with a busy schedule, how to lead a life of fitness with a busy schedule, which I know a lot of people do. There are some guidelines with that I want to go through with everybody today. It's going to be an awesome topic. But first, I wanted to also express my gratitude to each and every person watching, each and every person listening, because after week one, I was ranked number 9 on IPM Nation's top 10. After week 2, I was ranked 8. And after last week, I am ranked number 6. Number 6, which is awesome and very humbling. I never in a million years thought that many people would really be listening to me. So huge thanks to everyone. We also had the new intro, which was a nice painstaking work also from Wayne. So if you have any feedback on that intro that you just saw, please leave a comment below. I would love to get feedback on that. A few people have already sent feedback. I did post it on Facebook and Instagram a couple days ago to make sure that could be out there because I always want to make everything better. So if you think of a way that it could be better, please, I would love to know. I'm not one of those people who just says that. I really do take that constructive criticism to heart because that's how you get better. If you just blow off what people say all the time, you're not going to get better. So make sure if you take it with a grain of salt because everybody has an opinion. But hopefully those opinions matter, which yours do, especially because I know a bunch of you who are watching, and I love you all. So thank you very much. All right, so let's get to that topic at hand. I know quite a few of you are giving me some thumbs up, which is awesome. Thank you. How to stay fit with a busy lifestyle. It can be tough. Everybody has time to stay fit, though. Everybody does. It's just a matter of priorities. And for a lot of people, those priorities may not come first, which I totally get. And really, fitness shouldn't be number 1. It probably shouldn't be number 2. It might be fighting for a number 3. And that's what we preach here at my job. By the way, also, I almost forgot, I am broadcasting from Grand Blanc, Michigan, here at Grand Blanc Fit Body Boot Camp. I moved the camera around because I really wanted to get the American flag. I'm looking at myself backwards in a camera, so flag's right there. because this is America. I got some dumbbells. Let me know what you think of the new camera angle. Is this better? Is this worse? Did you prefer it on the other side of the room? Who knows? Again, it's one of those things that's always evolving. I like playing around. I don't really like sitting in the same spot. I'm really surprised I can do this for 30 minutes, but you know how it goes. Let's rein it back in. It's just a matter of priorities, whether or not you want to be fit. And what does be fit even mean? That's really arbitrary. It can mean that you are healthy, which, by the way, the medical definition of healthy is without disease. So that's setting the bar pretty low, because you can be without disease and still not be able to do something like touch your toes, or bend over to tie your shoes, or anything like that. So make sure that we have a firm definition of healthy. For me, it's being the most functional human being I possibly can be. Functional meaning able to do things that a human being probably should be able to do and was able to do at least 100, 200, 300 years ago. With the advent of desk jobs and the Industrial Revolution, where people were moving around a lot less because things were a lot easier, people like it. So make sure that you have a nice, firm, healthy definition. You don't have to use my definition, but I really want you to think about what it is for yourself. How do you determine that? A lot of people, when it comes to being healthy, it's a factor of, do you want to be healthy or do you need to be healthy? Do you want to lose weight or do you need to lose weight? I personally know at least a couple people. The list is probably a lot bigger than I remember because I do meet a lot of people with what I do. They don't see true success until they need that success. And it can be a very fine line and a very fine switch in your head. What I mean by that is you can want to lose 5 pounds for a wedding. You don't need to lose 5 pounds for a wedding, 10 pounds for a wedding. That's just an arbitrary thing. But what happens if you go into the doctor and they tell you that you are pre-diabetic and diabetes runs in your family? How does that strike a chord with you? For me, for example, if I went into the doctor and they said I was pre-diabetic, I would drop everything to make sure that did not happen, because I do know quite a few people with diabetes and the struggles that they go through every single day. So make sure you have that perspective in your head. If you went to the doctor and they told you you were healthy, how would that make you feel? If you went to the doctor and they told you you were pre-diabetic or you were on the line of having type 2 diabetes, how would that make you feel? Or you go in and they tell you you're morbidly obese and you need to lose 100 pounds. These things should all play a factor in what you are looking at. It's nice to be able to lose 5 or 10 pounds, but remember, there are a lot of people who need to lose and improve their life a lot more than just a 5-pound difference. So that's what I mean by want versus need. Some people need to be fit, need to be more fit than they are. How fit are you to live life? That's how it should be. It shouldn't be how fit are you to do 90 burpees in 3 minutes. By the way, that sucks, but that's a whole other conversation. Will you go out of your way to make sure that happens? Again, it's that want versus need. If you need to do something, you're going to make it happen. If you want to do something, I'll get to it. I want you to look at it this way too. There are 168 hours in a week, or so I'm told. I apparently am not good at math this week, so correct me if I'm wrong. But let's say you have a job where you work 40 hours. Let's say you sleep an average of 6 hours a night, which, by the way, is undersleeping for a vast majority of people. That's 42 hours a week. How do you spend the other 86 hours that are left? Some of you have families. You got to spend some time with families. Let's say 4 or 5 hours. That's another 25 to 30 hours a week. All of a sudden, we're down to 50-something hours. What do you spend that time working on? What are you doing with that extra time? And don't get me wrong, I get it. Some nurses work 60 to 70 hours a week. There are some people who work in the restaurant industry. I'm looking at you, executive chefs, that work 80 to 90 hours a week. Or in the case of one owner of a diner that I met, he literally works 100 to 110 hours a week he is at that restaurant. How do you spend your time? Do you spend it playing video games? I know I do sometimes. Do you spend it working on a side hustle? Do you spend it going out and flipping things? Do you spend it painting? How do you spend your time? I'm sure you could probably carve out an hour and a half to 3 hours a week for yourself to make yourself healthier. I'm willing to bet you could find that time. That's 3 hours out of 168. That is a very small percentage of your time that you could find. For those of you who do have a crazy busy schedule though, or a super demanding job, here's another question for you. Do you schedule your days? And that brings me to point number 1. I have 3 points today, by the way. These are all points to try and make sure that you are successful at leading a life of fitness as possible. Number 1 is schedule. Do you schedule your day out, or don't you? Do you wake up in the morning and you are flying out of your bed because you need to be at work in 15 minutes and you live 10 minutes away? Are you waking up exactly when you should be? Are you hitting snooze 9 times in the morning and cutting into your time? Failing to plan is planning to fail. Make sure that you're scheduling time, especially if you're super busy. I've found that since I became busier with my profession, that I need to schedule my days. I need to schedule the time that I'm doing something, or else things get away from me and all of a sudden I'm scrambling and I'm a frantic mess trying to run around. And I'm a pretty laid back person, but when I get things planted on, it can be super overwhelming. The number 1 thing I've done to make sure that I don't get overwhelmed with whatever I'm doing is I literally schedule my time. Schedule your workouts specifically too. So say, let's use my schedule for example. My alarm goes off at 3:45 in the morning. My first session here is at 4:50 a.m., so I'm usually here by 4:40. I get done here in the morning at usually around 10:30. I could go home, or I could work out. So there's my workout time. And then I could work on my side projects. I live about 15 minutes away, so I drive back home. I can work on a couple side projects. If I got a lack of sleep, because I am a night owl, so sometimes my work goes later into the nighttime because I'm more productive at night than I am in the middle of the day. Then I can move through that. And then I come back to work. I get work done here. I go home. I work on my side projects way more than I do in the middle of the day because, again, I'm way less productive from the hours of 1 until 4 than I am from 8 until 10:30 or 11. So that's how I spend my day. I have it planned out. That's how I look at it every day. If I go one step further, I can literally break it down hour to hour. Because, for example, most days, especially if I don't get my full amount of sleep at night because I'm up late, I'll crash on the couch for an hour because I have about an hour and a half break. So I'll take about a 45-minute to an hour nap in order to get there. Think of it as this. You have me time. That's what working out is. It's you time. It's time you are away from your work, you're away from your job. It's time you are making yourself better. It's a self-improvement time. It is a therapy time for you. Maybe it's torture time, depending on the person. Some people don't like working out. I know I am definitely in the 1% with that. Some people tolerate working out. Some people legitimately enjoy it. I'm one of the people who legitimately enjoys it. And I know a bunch of people watching right now are people who either enjoy it or at least tolerate it. If you can't work out in the afternoons, wake up earlier. I know probably 95% of everybody who will ever listen to this hates those words. Wake up earlier. I wake up at 3:45 in the morning to come to work. Before I was working here and before I was working in kitchens, I was waking up at 5 in the morning to make sure I got workouts in. Or sometimes I would do 4 if I knew I had a longer workout. I wake up because I make myself a priority. Like I said, I don't have to be number 1, I don't have to be number 2, but I have to be on the list somewhere. I have to be making it happen. So, family should obviously come number 1. Work should probably come number 2 because you got to make money to take care of your family. you should probably come number 3. You need to be able to take care of yourself so that you can work and so you can take care of your family. If you never take care of yourself, all of a sudden things might fall apart. So make sure you're doing that. 5 a.m. workouts are the best. Scheduling your day, really, it makes time your slave instead of making you a slave to time. Time doesn't dictate what you do. You dictate what you do at a certain time. So start framing it that way, and it should help you out. I'm going to take a quick station break real quick, and then we will get to number 2, which will be planning.
You're listening to Derek Noel Fitness here on IPMNation.com/counterpunch. He'll bring the smarts. Now the sweat, well, that's up to you.
And we are back. Nice, quick little break. Before I got started in number 2, I just wanted to give a shout out to Heidi, who says, woot woot, she's glad I'm on. I know she watches every week. Thank you very much, Heidi. As well as Tiffany, who's given me a couple claps. I sent her a couple skull faces in between. Heidi also says that this is a better angle, which, thank you, Heidi. I appreciate the feedback. Hello, Dina. And hello, Dina. Chris is saying 5 a.m. workouts are the best. And Heidi is saying, yes, love 5 a.m. workouts. Me too. Like I said, before I was working here, I was getting workouts in at about 5 o'clock in the morning on the regular. Because also, when you get your workout done that early in the morning, the hardest thing you do physically is already done. Then it's kind of smooth sailing from there. It might be hard mentally, but at least you got the hardest physical thing out of your way, which is an awesome way to think about it. All right, let's get to number 2. Number 2 is planning. And I talked about this a little bit, which is also has to tie into scheduling. But what I mean by planning is, where do you work out? How far away is it? I live 15 minutes away from my gym. I work out here sometimes. Sometimes I drive out to a gym in Lapeer. Sometimes I drive over to Ortonville. I have a good time figuring out. I like rotating around, working out in different places, because that's just the kind of person I am. But you need to figure that out so you can plan for it. Plan your workouts. And what I mean for that is, besides scheduling them, plan what you're actually going to be doing. If you go to someplace like boot camp or a group fitness facility, that's kind of done for you, which is really nice. But if you're working out on your own, you kind of need to figure out how you're going to do it. So say you only have 2 days a week because your schedule is that busy, you can only work out 2 days a week. Awesome. Try and make them a slightly longer session and maybe hit your full body both times. That way you're burning calories through the entire body. You have to recover from it. And if you can spread them apart across different days, you get 2 of them in, you're good to go. Maybe if you have 3 or more days, you kind of split it up. And what I mean by that is you could do an upper body day, you could do an upper body push day, you could do an upper body pull day, you can do a leg day. So nice, good squats are always good. I'm not going to stand up because my head will be cut off and that'll be awkward. Being able to split things up that way allows more of a focus, which can actually help with strength. But if you need to lose some fat, kind of stick towards the full body workouts unless you're going 4 or 5 days a week, because you do need a couple of those rest days. Plan your rest days too, by the way. Just plan everything. If you can do that, then you will be, by all means, set. If you're going out of town, I have some tips for you as well. I know some people who may be watching this travel a lot. I noticed one person watching, Mr. Eric, actually does a lot of training and traveling out of state, and he has to drive an hour, at least an hour and a half away sometimes. So Eric, I hope you don't mind me using you as an example, but research your location. If you're going out of town, say you're going to Florida and you go to a group fitness facility in Michigan, research, see if there's the same one. So for example, Fit Body Boot Camp, there's one in Florida. So if you're going down to Florida, try and find boot camps in Florida. Chances are they will be happy to have you. Have a backup plan. If your hotel has a gym, awesome. Figure out, there are a ton of workouts online that you can find for full body weight workouts. You can do burpees, push-ups, sit-ups, lunges, a lot of different things just right in your hotel room. Just put a towel down and go to town with it. So worst case scenario, you don't have a hotel gym, you don't have a gym near you, your work doesn't have a gym, you can always do something at the hotel room just to make sure you break a sweat. And then the nice thing is, you have a shower right there, so you can jump right in the shower, bada bing, bada boom, bada bang, you're out the door. Do it in the morning, you will be super awake through at least the first 3/4 of your day, I guarantee it. Have a backup plan though, like I said, or if you're traveling with someone who works out, or someone who wants to work out while you are traveling. So if you have a partner, schedule a time for both of you guys. If you need some help with it, maybe you don't have a lot of experience or they just have more experience than you, cool. Use them as a resource. Ask them if you could catch a lift with them. Then that way you have an accountability partner. Those accountability partners are really good, especially if it's like mother-daughter, which we have a few of here, or if it's husband-wife, something that can keep you going. If it's a couple coworkers, say you have a little competition going between the two of you. Who can lose the most weight, for example? Something like that can keep you going too. That accountability is big. Number 3 is nutrition. And I'm going to start this out with 2 big words that a lot of people talk about doing, but really don't. Meal prep. Prep your meals, everybody. You can do that a few different ways. And meal prep, meal planning, that planning goes into account too. Plan it out. Write it down on a sheet of paper before you actually cook it. Make sure it makes sense. Try and get protein in at every meal. Doing those things will make sure that you're successful. If you can bring your food with you, awesome. If you have a refrigerator at work, cool. If not, find some stuff. If you absolutely hate cooking things, so if you're not one of those people who likes to cook dinner every day, and you don't, or you just hate cooking on a Sunday, getting everything done, or maybe you just hate reheated chicken on the 3rd day because it gets a little too slimy for you. By the way, a little quick trick, put a little bit of water in the microwave when you do that, and it should be good. It shouldn't dry out too much. That's pro tip of the day. If you hate eating though, like I said, I'm going to go back to that. Go out to eat. I'm not saying that restaurants are the devil. Sometimes there's better options than others, so don't go to a place like McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King or Taco Bell to get food. Don't get me wrong, that stuff can be delicious, but is it really the best choice? Probably not. If you're going to a restaurant, I can almost guarantee you that that place has chicken, and that place has a vegetable, and that place probably has a carb. So order off the menu. Don't feel like you have to choose specific menu items. Chicken and a vegetable, chicken and broccoli, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're successful at a restaurant, set it up. It depends on how committed you are. If you want to go out to eat and you're just eating a ton of things, you're probably not going to lose weight. Remember, if you gain weight, you're eating too many calories. If you lose weight, you're eating less calories than your body needs. That's basically how it works. Let's say you are going on the road. You are driving down to Florida for that trip, or for that work trip. They're making you drive instead of flying you down. What can you do? Well, if you stop at a gas station, most gas stations sell beef jerky now. If you're a vegetarian, edamame, you could buy at a bunch of different grocery stores now. One of my personal favorite snacks is those little wasabi edamame, dried wasabi edamame. It's so good. I love wasabi though. I love spicy things. Or you can get dried fruit, just stuff that won't spoil from sitting in your car. That way you can just have something to go. And is dried fruit loaded with some sugar a lot of times? Yeah, but a lot of it is also sugar in the fruit, and I don't really know anyone who's gotten fat from eating bananas. So keep that in mind. Yes, you should be watching it, but if you aren't too bad with it, then we're pretty good. Or if you are flying, and you're flying across, so say you're flying from Michigan to California, New York to California, somewhere that's a large distance. Maybe, just maybe, you should practice intermittent fasting. That way you're not tempted to go eat at all the restaurants in the airports, because restaurants and airports typically don't have that good a selection, but if they do, you can find some place that does. So typically they have 1 or 2 higher end restaurants in an airport. I'm willing to bet you could probably find a place that'll serve you chicken and broccoli and some rice or something like that, maybe a potato. Just try and stay away from all those other super highly processed things. But if you're going to an airport too, you can typically bring your own snacks, or you can buy snacks there. I know RX bars are getting a lot more popular. You could bring your own drinks. Fit Aids are pretty good, by the way. No free ads, but I love these things. And you can do that. And then when you arrive at your destination, go to the grocery store. Buy yourself some healthy food, buy yourself some fruits, buy yourself some healthy snacks. That way you're not tempted to just grab all the candy at whatever office you're visiting or wherever you're at. One caveat to this is if you're going on vacation, enjoy yourself. Don't feel like you have to be super stressed because you're eating out and you're drinking alcohol when you're out there to have a good time, and relax. You should relax when you're on vacation. Don't let yourself get super far out of hand, but if you do, don't fret it. One meal or one weekend is not going to ruin every little bit of progress that you've made. It's those decisions over and over and over and over again over a period of time that get wrong, or that get you there. So hopefully these tips have really helped you out. I'm actually going to jump back in the thread right now and answer some questions. So if you have any, let's make sure we ask them. I'm coming up into here. Jay, how's it going, Jay? Hopefully you're having a great Sunday. If you do a full body workout, how? If you do a full body workout, how many exercises per muscle group? That's actually a really good question. If you're doing a full body workout, the goal isn't to destroy every single muscle group. So if you were to do, and what I typically do is 3 to 5 exercises if I'm doing it a couple days a week. So if I'm going for a little bit of a split, I'll go anywhere between 3 and 5 different exercises of 3 to 4 sets. But if you're doing a full body workout, you'll probably only want to hit 1 to 2 exercises per body part. And what you could actually do is make those as compound as possible, meaning as multi-joint. So for example, if I have a shoulder press, it's working my shoulder joint and it's working my elbow joint. Or if I'm working a squat, I'm working with my ankles, my knees, and my hips. So it's recruiting more muscles in order to burn calories. That's the best way to do a full body workout, is to make those exercises as compound as possible. Hopefully that helps answer your question. Let's see, we got anything else? I know I have a question on deck. I think I'm gonna have to actually make that one I'm going to have to make that one in a separate video. I do want to take a second and thank everyone watching again, because without this, I wouldn't be able to make everything possible. If you have any questions at this point, I'm probably gonna have to make a separate video for them, which I don't mind. If anyone was wondering if I answered Kristen's question about cardio on off days or boot camp days, I did make a video for that, so please give that a check that one out. It should be, I think I posted it on Wednesday or Thursday. You could do that. Jay, it does help. Thanks. I'm glad I could help you out, man. Remember, just feel free to always reach out. And remember, if you ask me a question during the week, chances are I will create a video for it. So don't feel like you have to ask here. You can always send me a private message. I would love to chat with you. If you would like to help me out, you could go on YouTube and give me a like here on Facebook. If you could give this video a share, a like, comments always help. The YouTube subscription will always help as well. You can find that link. I'm sure I will edit it in to be posted on this video. And every Tuesday, you can find the audio of this stream wherever you listen to podcasts. I am now on iTunes. I am on Stitcher. I am on Spotify. I am SoundCloud. If I'm not on whatever you're listening to, let me know so I can get out there. Giving me a 5-star review on that would also go a long way to helping me out, especially if you're listening on iTunes. Hopefully this helped people out. If you would like to get a hold of me, you can find me here. You can find me on Instagram at @TheDerekNoel, or you can find me on here at @TheDerekNoel as well. Hopefully, if you just randomly clicked it. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your night, everyone. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.